We've got it bolted in, just snug, and we want to recheck, make sure nothing moved. So we'll show you how we measured a good old clipboard, and I'm not going to try to read all these measurements off to you, but this is the kind of stuff we set up yesterday, because we did a couple of different versions of the track bar, the panhard bar, however you want to argue about it. And so we just set up driver's side, passenger side, and then with ride height, and then up and down. And so we have a reference mark on the frame. We know how far up we're going to be, and then we just take a measurement from this line that you might be able to see out to the brake hub. You don't have to do it there, but that's not going to change. So we just picked a place where we can repeat things time after time. And so first is our ride height. 10 inches is a little low. Come up to 10. Come up 1. That's 10 and a half. All right, so we got 10 inches to our mark. Again, it's arbitrary from the top of the axle, but it just lets us repeat what we're doing. So we go from there, and we're at 9 and 5/8. We were at 9 and 11/16 yesterday, so we're within, you know, there's probably a 1/16 of movement. And then we do the same thing on the other side, and then we do the same thing up and down. And
do up?
yeah, let's go ahead and do up and do one more measurement.
What were we up?
It's 5 3/8 on the high side. And you'll see how it's articulating now. You know, everything is going up together, no bind. We can't get 5 3/8 because of that.
Oh, that's right too.
Stop anywhere there, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But our last measurements were there, right where it was underneath. We do have one, you can't see it on the camera, there's one spot where there's potential interference from the track bar to the inside of the frame. We're probably going to do a little tiny notch, and I mean like a 1/2 inch by 1 inch long. But there's no way we're going to compress the springs to 8 inches. They're 13 inches freestanding. We haven't gotten them in here yet, but we're going to notch the frame for absolute catastrophe, and we're also going to build a bump stop under the frame that'll hit the axle probably right about here. And that way you won't slam your shocks, you don't coil bind anything. But I mean, you'd have to be doing Dukes of Hazzard stuff over some major suspension change on that. So now we're all the way up, and we're down to 9 and 9/16. So we lost a 1/16 of an inch. That means the rear end moved that way that much, and it's because that track arm has a fixed point and a mobile point, and so it follows an arc up and down. And if you can imagine, at here it's a certain distance. When it goes up, it's shorter from here to here because it's following a circle, it's following a radius. So that's why this moves side to side. But now we've got it where the movement side to side is minimal. So now you can watch the cycle, the whole thing go down.
There's about level on the...
It's approximately ride height, and then the track bar is level. We set it up like that just for looks as much as anything.
That's about right height, wasn't it? What do we have?
Yeah, that's 12. That's another 1.5 inches in your, that's at lowest. So that is where the springs are going to be at their they just set in here at this level. So this is extreme up on the truck, low on the axle. That's the extreme distance on that. And so we're still down to 9 and 3/8. So from that initial 9 and 11/16, we've moved 5/16 of an inch. So tire sidewall flex is probably more than that. So we're in a really good spot to control our lateral movement. There are other ways to do it. Watts link, some other stuff that we found that was kind of cool, but this is a very simple and effective way to do it, used on hundreds of thousands of millions of Chevy trucks. circle track cars, drag cars,
Yep.
NASCARs, all kinds of shit. So sometimes you just keep it simple and you go with good technology, and that's what we're doing. And this truck's probably not going to carry any more than a couple of lawn chairs and a cooler. So even after all the welding, the axle's moving smooth. You know, everything's going. We're free and clear. Sway bar moves easily. Pinion angles are good. So our next thing is setting up the springs. Right? I'm not missing anything, am I?
No, I think springs are next.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
We have the
horrible, but-
progressive coil springs, and we had thought about it, and just for looks, we were going to do it upside down, but it says put the wider spaced coils at the bottom, and then on the back side, it tells you the little tang at the top. This flat part right here needs to be parallel with the rear axle. So that's how we'll do it. But we're going to bolt the bottom first. And so this plate has a nut welded in. Fits like that. Sets right there. Just going to get it started for right now. And we're going to turn that to be parallel with the axle. And then I think there's plenty of room. I think we just want to almost jack it up, put a little bit of pressure on both of them, put a mark, maybe get a reference mark. There's kind of a direction on these little cups, and it fits right down in the base of the spring. So we're even there. That's that way, that's that way. Keep my fingers out of the way, but I'm going to pull it. I don't get a lot, but yeah, come on up. Touching on the both sides. Well, barely touching on the passenger side. Put just a little more pressure on it. Yeah. Bad thing is we don't have any notations in the instructions, because I read them pretty carefully on exactly how to find center, where the springs need to go. If this was a Chevy, there would be a hole there on the inside and we would know. We don't have a good place. Looks like Ward's looking at the 69. I'm going to go take the tape measure to him and see if we can figure it out. We got the springs in, got some straps tensioning them forward. They're tight on the bottom, and just visually they're vertical for the most part. They have a bend at the bottom because the track arm is angled. So we're going to get a measurement on both sides, even them up from the chassis, the body mounts, make some marks, and then we'll have to loosen everything up and drill up a nice big hole up through the bottom edge of the frame. But just so you can see how they're sitting vertically, and this is kind of a by engineering thing. You can see this side, and then the other side might need to come forward just a little bit. We're just doing vertical through the spring. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the bottom is bolted to here. So there's already a little bit of pressure here from us pulling it into place. And so as we bolt it here, it'll do the business. And it's not a ton of pressure. We just got little baby ratchet straps on. So we'll get we said that truck up there measured like 34 3/8 from the same body mount bracket back to the center, and I think we're gonna pick 34 1/2. See, the cups have the flat spot on them, and then of course you put the dish part up into the spring. that fits up there. It's going to be a nice spot for it. So, with that held in there, now Ward can see kind of an eyeball.
About 5/8, 34 and 5/8.
Let's put it at a half and pull it in.
All right, 34 and a half it is.
And then, because there's a little bit of leeway here. There's some leeway and it'll center itself. And so we'll just do both sides the same. And then fight them into position, pull the bolts up, and away we go. I think I'm just going to drop it a little bit. That should take pressure off. They'll probably pop a little.
Yeah.
But they've got straps on them and they're bolted very securely. These aren't just balanced in here, guys. They're bolted here. We tighten them up. So. And it had some pressure on the frame. You can see we dropped it.
We're free now.
We're completely free. And see, they don't move much at all. So this will be fun.
Yeah. Boing. Good thing they're bolted in. Ah, come on. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. Hot damn Billy Bob.
All right, just for illustration, now you can see they're following the angle of the truck arm, or the right angle of the truck arm anyway. So, but we got to get it up here. You can't just bolt them straight up. You'll have all kinds of weird harmonics and pressures on it. You got to get them where they're moving in a line, even though this moves in an arc. It's all about compromise. Yeah, see that hole that we thought, that original shock mount hole, that's just too far forward.
Yeah.
Take the springs back off so we can get a drill in there.
Yep. You don't want that falling on your toe.
No, they're heavy duty.
I think there's more spring than this truck needs. But
probably, but they're progressive, so his hope is that the progressive will give him a better ride. If not, they're not prohibitively expensive. $150 for the pair, something like that. That's out of my memory, so don't quote me.
down all the way. And that's full as far as the table will go.
34 and transfer it under with it. I'm just making a place to put some actual scratches so we can get it more precise. And then I guess we'll center the rail side to side.
Now I noticed on the 69 there's a double plate.
I'm not too worried about the double plate because we plan on boxing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think we're good. But our other plan of welding the nut in, well, we can do it with an extension. I was thinking because the close coils are going to be hard to get a ratchet in between.
Yeah.
But with an extension, we can get a ratchet in there. So we'll weld the nut on the inside after we get everything set up. So what I did, I put a big fat paint mark with the paint pen because you don't know where 34.5 is in that 1/4 inch wide. But now you brought a scratch, or you can use the center punch, but we'll use a scratch. It's a little easier. So we'll do 34.5. Put a tiny little arrow on there. I know you can't see it, but old metalworking trick. Maybe carpenters do it too. But if you put an arrow there, you can go to the point of the arrow as your actual measurement. Because if you just put a line, you don't know where you are on there. Or even a dot. Which side of the dot are you on? If you put the arrow, you can go right to it. So I've got a tiny little one that's scratched in there. So now we use the tri-square to transfer it under. And now we can use a line because we're going along the square. There we go. Oh, 3 inches. Cool. So I can go to 1.5. Yep. Which side of the line am I on? No. I see it. I see it.
Yep.
1.5. Once again, I do the arrow, so I know where the arrow is on my cross line. We put a center punch there. Nice little mark. We can drill that in a minute. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Get both of them punched and away we go. Alright, I'm going to put a pilot hole through with whatever drill I grabbed. It's going to be a lot bigger. And one little thing to watch out for when you're doing stuff like this, especially if you're under the truck on the ground, there's a brake line on this side. It's plenty out of the way, but I'm just making sure. And on that side, there's a couple of wires that are out of the way, but we'll pull them up just to make sure as we get started on that side. Could be a gas line. There's not on this truck because the gas tank's still behind the seat in the cab. So.
Yeah.
You can figure out ½ inch maybe? I don't know what size it is.
We did one drill a little bit. Oh. ½ inch it is. That's as big as I got.
That's as big as will fit in this little drill anyway. Just go ahead and slow that down though.
Thought you had some tapered shafts.
Step bit. Yeah, I do have a couple of step ones, but
Here's your
and put that back in the pocket.
yeah, just in case you need it.
And get a fresh battery because this one's gonna give up. Little tiny bit of lubrication.
All your step bits are ½ inch. NFG. Go.
Oh yeah, good to go.
Das is good, my boy.
Yeah. Got a big spot so you can weld it.
I was going to say, while you're there.
I mean like that, and then we can bring it up.
Okay. Yep.
Well, let's get both bottoms started.
Yeah.
Trying to work out how we want to put this together.
Yeah, you I did your hole is way forward. You got to
No, I did the wrong hole. I did that shock hole on this side instead of the.
Oh boy. Yep. That's when you drill. Okay.
Oops.
Back to plan.
There's a shock hole about 1.25 inches in front of the hole we wanted to drill, which I drilled the right pilot hole, but I didn't come back at it with the right big drill. Okay. Phase 2.2.
Coming down.
Let me go ahead and unloosen this so it'll come down even. All right. Fall solidly into the snafu category, people. Don't always do it wrong, but if you do, it's going to be on video.
gotta go back. There.
Now I need to loosen off of it. But we can do that if you can get it started.
Okay, get it started.
Okay, watch your fingers
Yeah.
coming off of it. Thought it was.
Okay. I don't think you need the strap. Because they, just,
Well, that's started. We'll get all of them started and then put ease pressure up on them one at a time. I gotta get the bracket.
yep.
I propose we tighten the top ones up, get the cup set, and then we can put the strap on the bottom and give it just a little bit of pressure as we
Yep.
raise the axle and then tighten them
And swing it into place.
an
Okay.
inch at a time,
Yep.
an inch a bit at a time. Yeah, because it's locked over. I know why you said that. So
Yeah.
okay. That's good. You've got it all pulled into line.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's.
Bring it up.
Well, it's going to hook the straps up to the bay. Well, as we bring it up, it'll probably go. You've got threads showing on your side too, right?
Yeah.
So we should be good. We've got a full nut of insertion.
That's what she said.
Let's just see what it does. We're raising the truck.
But you're strapped, so. No more.
Yeah, I'd like it to seat back.
Yeah.
This side's on the slope. I wonder, I'm going to give it a little hit with this little baby impact. See what it does. Tighten. It's falling too far down in here.
Yeah.
It's in the right place, but not.
Yeah.
Back it a little.
Might want to take it to where there's no threads, it's flush, give you a little bit of play.
Well, I was thinking
Now we pull the spring forward.
lower the axle and then pull it back to it. Is that what you meant?
No, lower the axle a little bit, but we put it back on the lift instead of on the strap. Whoop. And then we pull the axle forward, or not the axle, but the spring right from here.
Well, remember it's hanging. I think if we take all the pressure off of this
Oh yeah.
and then pull it forward.
Yeah.
Same idea, but even less pressure. There, that's all the way.
All right.
No?
Yeah, much better.
Yep. Let's see what that does. Wonder if we can hook right there. That should pull in line. We'll get it hooked up. I need to take some more threads off of this. Like you said. All right, if you didn't pay attention in 8th grade science class, springs have a lot of potential energy. When you start putting them under pressure, it turns into stored energy. That's why we're using strap, big old C-clamp, because we have to, I know you probably can't see it, but the shape of that retaining plate fits the spring, and right now it's only halfway in. So we got to pull the back end and the bottom over to get it seated well, and that's what we're doing. So be very, very careful messing with springs, because they will get you.
They will hurt you.
Yeah. Get the same motion we had over there. There we go. Oh. do the turn. Oh yeah. Okay, let me put a couple of straps. Pulls on. It's there, almost there. I think it's ready for a whack. Yep.
Did it go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's in there.
I thought I heard it go.
Let's lower it on back onto our cradle and see where this unloads, and then get a measurement and see how far off our guesstimation was for ride height.
Well, I can just jack it up.
Or jack it up. Yeah, same difference.
Same thing, only different.
Yeah.
You want to get a measurement?
Well,
from
yeah, we'll do it. Let's see.
your axle up?
That's 12 3/4, and we had 13 that we were figuring.
Yep.
So
We were pretty close.
We're nice. Okay, that's 12 3/4. Let me check the other side.
That's full droop too.
Full droop. And this is 12 7/8. So we got an 1/8 inch.
Yeah. It's an old truck. Could be
Offset.
fresh. Coming up. Let me back it down.
In the saddle.
I'm gonna pull it over.
There you go.
Alright. That looks better. Okay, how far up you want to go?
Let's go till we unload this right here.
All right.
Or part of it anyway. Come on up. Right there. We're supporting the truck. Maybe not all the weight, but so that only went up to 11 and a half.
We were figuring 10,
At 10, yeah.
but
We
don't
didn't
have
get
a
near
box
as much
anyway.
compression. Well, actually, we got about what we. No, we only got about an inch of compression.
Yeah.
But we don't have all the box weight and everything else on here
Right.
exactly. And we're within an 1/8 inch of being even side to side.
You'll never see that going down the road.
No. Come on up another couple of pumps. Okay, that's good. We're on both sides. Yeah, we got spring action.
And we haven't driven it and settled
Yeah.
springs and stuff. It'll drop a little more after a month or so.
So I think our 11, I mean our 10 inches was close because we're
Yeah.
at like 11 and a quarter here.
But we don't have a box.
No box,
Gas tank.
gas tank, pet girls.
I do believe we've got.
I think we're mounted.
Yep.
We can weld the nuts,
Yep. Get them welded
make
in.
patterns for our box plate.
Yep. We can get this blemish back here
Yeah.
repaired while we're welding. Hammer it, heat it up, hammer it down, and repair that.
And then once the box plate's in, we can start measuring for shocks.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right, that's about it for the rear end show today. Tomorrow we'll box the inside of this, weld the nuts on, box the plates, figure out a shock mount cross member. We'll show you all that tomorrow, but that's the plan. And then this is pretty much done. I mean, we'll have to replumb brake lines, put the drive shaft back in, paint everything. I'm going to paint everything back here.
Clean up the rat's nest,
Yeah,
wiring rat's nest.
yeah. So that is the big part of the fabrication, though. We're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks y'all for watching. Here we go.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe,